This is VSiN, the sports betting network.
Follow the money.
That's what I always say. You always follow the money.
Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Paulie Howard on VSiN.
Here we go. Welcome in. It is Follow the Money on VSiN, the sports betting network. Mitch Moss along with John Jastrzemski. He is in today for the vacationing Paulie Howard. I'm live in downtown Vegas from the Circuit Resort and Casino. JJ is back in New York. We have a 3-hour banger lined up today. Great guests on the program. We'll hit a lot of Major League Baseball. The second half really gets underway tonight. We'll discuss the Open Championship, the British Open, as it looks like round 2 now is pretty much in the books. Alex Crook on the World Cup coming up in 30 minutes. Some home run props with Mike Carver a little bit later on. Jensen Lewis and Steve Wiss also on the program today. JJ, good to talk to you again today, my man. How are you?
Mitch, I am fired up. It is good to know that we have a full slate of baseball back in our lives because there were only so many different ways you could handicap Mets, Phillies, for goodness sakes, on Thursday evening. So to see a full board of games, to watch the Red Sox go and take down the Tampa Bay Rays, wish I had a little action on Boston in the early action. I did not play the game. But we have some developments in the Open Championship that I think are advantageous to the two of us. Life is good, man. I'm ready to go. Rock and roll, baby.
Good call last night, by the way, with you and liking the Mets. And Soto walked 3 times overall. They have the night off tonight, so they played that game last night. They'll resume their series beginning tomorrow. The Soto walk prop is going to turn into like a $2 favorite here pretty soon because of that. But they jumped on him early and they cruised to a victory, 4-1 final. So that's a nice winner for you to begin with. And I did play the Red Sox earlier today because this thing, what is it now? 10 games with the winning streak. And I already played them tonight minus 115. I rolled it over. I know this doubleheader thing about, well, when the first team loses in game 1, come back and bet them in game 2. I can't fade the Red Sox right now. This team's been on a mission the entire month here, JJ.
Well, Mitch, I totally get that. They're the hottest team in baseball. They've worked themselves back into the pennant race, back into the wild card race, and they have outstanding starting pitching. If they get offense, and if they can figure out how to win in their home ballpark, which has been incredibly problematic for them. If you look at the Red Sox splits throughout the course of the year, they've been an outstanding road team all season long. They have stunk at Fenway Park, and if you're betting against the Red Sox at Fenway before this crazy hot streak they've been on, you're up a boatload of cash and a boatload of units because they've just been absolutely pathetic in their home ballpark. They figure that out. They're going to find their way to the postseason. I mean, the American League stinks. They're basically running out a good starter each and every day.
Yeah.
Figure out how to win at home. Figure out how to score runs. They do that. They're in good shape. I'm not betting Tampa, Mitch, in game 2, but I traditionally, my friend, have a rule with these doubleheaders.
Yeah, I get it.
When the teams are, you know what I mean? When the teams are evenly matched, and I think it's fair to say Tampa and Boston are 2 evenly matched teams. Boston goes and wins game 1. They kind of go balls to the wall to go and get game 1. It usually pushes me in a Tampa direction, but I'm not stepping in the way of that runaway freight train right now. So I wish you well. I'm staying off the game.
Thank you. Okay, so another thing that you liked yesterday at the very end of the show, we talked about throughout the 3-hour program, that you thought Cam Young was worthy of a bet, and that was maybe to win it outright and also to go top 10. He had another good round today. We'll touch on him coming up in a second. But how about some of the rounds today? Lucas Herbert, of course, either late last night or early this morning, 14 greens in regulation, plus 2.9 strokes gained putting at the British Open, 6 under on par 4s, nobody was better than par 4 under in round 1 overall. And then Sam Burns, get this, he needed 21 putts in his round of 62 today. It ties the fewest putts by anybody in an Open Championship round the last 25 years. In 08, Rocco Mediate did that. 2017, Brooks Koepka. All 3 came at Royal Birkdale. But Sammy Burns posted a great round. So did Lucas Herbert. I did not have a chance to see a lot of the coverage like late overnight or earlier this morning for various reasons. But evidently, people had a major problem with this because they showed like 2 shots combined from the coverage has been always a sticking point here. And I guess that continued today at the Open Championship.
Well, it boils down to the fact, Mitch, that a lot of times they're going to profile on whoever their biggest players are going out. And I know the viewer doesn't like that, and it's going to be incredibly frustrating. But on Thursday and Friday specifically, you're going to see your big names. I feel great about our position here with Cam Young.
Have to.
And look, Herbert had an unbelievable day. He shot the round of his life. Is he going to be able to come close to that on Saturday and then again on Sunday? I, for one, don't see it. A lot of star power atop that leaderboard. And we mentioned this yesterday with Cam Young. Kind of went into this tournament a little under the radar because he had not been playing as well over the last month and change. It felt like earlier in the year was the better chance for him to go and get that first major. And normally you look at open championships, you like guys with experience. You like guys who have won majors before. Here's a dirty little secret about this course, though. Mitch, these guys are tearing it up right now. This is not playing like some traditional open championship where guys are really getting beaten down by the conditions of the course. The guys are thriving. Aside from the little mini meltdown we got from Bryson DeChambeau moments ago, which I'm getting a kick out of watching right now as we speak, he's alive and well. He's in prime position to go and make a run at this thing. So I love that. Listen, if we have a final pairing where it's the youngster, it's Herbert, it's DeChambeau, it's Cameron Young, sign me up right now.
Yep. So a couple of things that I did do with this. Last night after the show ended, most books were at 12-1 on Cam Young. I added him at 12-1. I also used a boost earlier today to get at plus 875 when he was already in the clubhouse at 6 under. That to me was too good to resist not adding more. And I did add John Rahm before his round today. And during his round, I put 2 bets in on Bryson DeChambeau. One is a loser. I bet him at 27-1 to be the second round leader today. When he was on the course, he did bogey one of the. If he doesn't get that bogey, he splits it with Herbert, but that's a losing bet. I also added Bryson DeChambeau 16-1 this to win this outright because you can change your opinion on this stuff, right? Like we talked about yesterday, I have a losing matchup, fading DeChambeau and going against him with Joaquin Niemann. Well, that's a dead ticket. That was dead yesterday, 10 minutes into the opening rounds for both of those guys. Also, look at how Matt Fitzpatrick was playing coming into this, and also Wyndham Clark. Both guys going to miss the cut. So, despite DeChambeau's recent failures, and by the way, how about this? Justin Ray is an incredible follow on X. With DeChambeau, no player in the modern era of men's professional golf has missed the cut in the first 3 majors of a season, then won the 4th, which now DeChambeau is 1 stroke back. He could pull it off this weekend.
You're absolutely right about that. And Mitch, traditionally speaking, Bryson DeChambeau in the Open Championship, Bryson DeChambeau at these link-style courses, not conducive to his game. It's just not conducive to his game. Yet he's gone out and he's played unbelievable golf these first 2 days. And that's why, listen, you look at the live updated odds. Scheffler, always in the mix. He's the front runner at plus 550. Cam Young is now down to 7-1. So we like that we've gotten a little closing line value on our guy, Cam Young. And if you're a believer that Herbert can follow up what he did on Friday and actually go and win this thing, you're still getting a really juicy price on Herbert at plus 950. Tommy Fleetwood's at 15-1. Rahm, and I'm glad you mentioned that you added some Rahm. Don't be surprised if he goes and has a big couple of days here over the next 48 hours. You know, like he maybe he could go and backdraft into this thing and get you a top 5.
I think so. Today was a pretty good round for him overall. He's 13-1 to win it now. He's minus 132 to go top 10. Your guy Cam, which you bet at plus money yesterday to go top 10. Now he is basically the 3rd shortest shot to finish in the top 10 at minus 210. You're feeling pretty good with that one. 2 guys near the top who I don't know what to make of. One would be the leader. Right, JJ, if he beats us, he beats us. I can't imagine Herbert.
Mitch, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. I think that is so 1,000% accurate. That's why I have to stop you in your tracks because I think it's absolutely brilliant. If we are going to go and lose to Herbert, tip the cap, Mitch Moss.
There you go.
Tip the cap.
Yep.
Go take my money. Go take my money. If this kid is going to go and play the way that he did on Friday, be my guest, take my money.
Yep.
That's why I have to make sure I emphasize that point because I think it's so accurate.
Yeah. So, I mean, I will congratulate the guy, and good for him if he does. But I cannot get on board with him, and I have it a little bit surrounded with that guy. The other guy is is Sam Burns. Obviously, just recently had the kid, and that whole talking point about, well, other golfers who have been in the situation this year, how it's gone for them, very difficult. You have a young child at home. My wife and I have a 2-year-old now. We know how difficult it can be early stages. But he came out today and shot that 62, and Sam Burns has been a guy who has been in the mix, it feels like, the last couple of years in a lot of these big tournaments, the majors. I have a major question mark. Like, I don't know what to make of Sam Burns going into the weekend.
Me neither. 15-1, though, is a very appetizing price. It's a very appetizing price on Sam Burns.
2-1 to go top 5.
Maybe this is his breakthrough tournament. This is maybe the spot where he can go and get over the hump. It's crazy in a way that, Mitch, Scheffler's 4 off the lead, and they still have him as the favorite to go and win this thing.
Crazy.
Isn't that classic? And I don't know about you. I have no interest in getting on board with Scheffler
No,
plus 550.
can't do it.
No, thanks.
No. That's too low of a number. I think if you were betting him when it was around 10-1 or so, then you have a nice ticket in pocket. But right now, this leaderboard is awesome. I mean, there are so many guys who are putting up good numbers overall. And again, not to beat a dead horse here, but that's when you go back and look at what happened to Fitzy and Wyndham Clark, guys like that. How? They were playing unbelievable golf, 2 of the best guys the entire year. Most golfers are going low, and they missed the cut. And that's insane to me.
It's insane to my bankroll as well, considering how high I was on Matthew Fitzpatrick going into this tournament. Forget about those top 5s, top 10s, and outrights. Bye, as in Sync once said, Mitch Moss. Bye.
I'm right there with you. That's a nice little 1.5 loser with Fitzy top 10 for me on that one. Second half baseball begins today, big time. JJ with a winner on a New York team yesterday has a bet on a New York team tonight. Find out how he's betting it next.
Racetrack Television Network brings you every race, from every track, on every screen, every day. With monthly packages starting as low as $5, RTN gives you great value and access to more live HD streaming and race replays than anyone. Visit RTN.tv today to sign up and watch on almost any device, including Roku and Amazon Fire. Use promo code TRYRTN for a 5-day free trial.
This is VSiN, a network of sports betting analysts, writers, hosts, and handicappers, all here to help you become a more confident bettor. We broadcast live every day from Las Vegas, the sports betting capital of the world, and from studios across the country, giving you insight from every angle of the action. Take VSiN with you wherever you go with the VSiN Watch app, or catch us on streaming platforms and regional sports networks. You can also listen live on SiriusXM Channel 158 and on radio stations nationwide. Check out VSiN.com as well for betting tools, exclusive betting splits, AI-powered player prop projections from Opta, pro picks for every game, plus in-depth betting guides and articles built to give you an edge. From sharp betting analysis and daily best bets to insider interviews and expert breakdowns, VSiN is your trusted source for everything happening in the world of sports betting. See everything we have to offer at VSiN.com and become part of the Sports Betting Network.
Hey everybody, Dave Ross here from VSiN by the Books. Join me and my man Jensen Lewis on Monday. Going to recap another massive weekend in sports. Going to react to the World Cup final between Argentina and Spain, the Open Championship in England, plus some big series in Major League Baseball and so much more. We're going to have a stacked guest list that includes Zachary Cohen's NBA offseason thoughts and our best bets from the King of Connecticut, Will Hill. It's VSiN by the Books, Monday, 7 to 10 a.m. Eastern on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
By the way, thank you for the tweets during the first segment. You can get in touch with the show at VSiN Live, at Mitch Moss Radio. JJ is at John_Jastrzemski. And so, full disclosure here, as I'm getting ready for the show, there's no volume on the TVs here in the studio, obviously. I wish we could do that while doing the show at the same time. Nor did I have volume here at the book. But I was curious as to why they kept showing Bryson on the coverage with this round in the books now. And there's still coverage right now, like on USA. So anyway, thank you to Closing Line Value, Sean, and others on X right now. Bryson is being investigated for a 2-stroke penalty. And Sean says, supposedly, if he gets assessed that penalty, he could withdraw. And yikes. I don't know how this is going to go. Again, I don't have the volume up, but I guess this is something that they're going to determine here in the next JJ small window of time to find out what's going to happen. So the 2-stroke penalty may have happened all the way. They're showing a replay right now of hole 5, I believe, so much earlier this morning. But if he gets that penalty, obviously that brings him back to 3 strokes behind Herbert, but then he's going to withdraw? That's the talking point? What are we doing here?
100%. Listen, I'm going to have to look at why Bryson DeChambeau is absolutely sick to his stomach as far as this rules discrepancy is concerned. Did not see it on the 5th hole, so I'm going to be totally transparent on this. As fair as his gripe may be, dude, I'm sorry. You cannot be withdrawing from a major championship when you're still in contention to go and win the championship. You got to put the ego aside. You got to stop being a big baby. Get out there and go and take your anger out on the golf course, for goodness sakes. That is what you should do, not the other way around. So let's hope that this is a whole lot of smoke and a whole lot to do about nothing for Bryson. He might be ticked off. For all I know, Mitch, he may be well within his rights to be ticked off if they go and assess this 2-stroke penalty. But come on, man. You didn't miss the cut. You're in contention to go win this thing. We'll see you on Saturday morning.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Yeah, show up, man. Be a big boy here. Like, we played a great soundbite from Zach Wheeler yesterday for the Phillies. That's the kind of soundbite that I like to hear from a player when he's pissed off. Like, he's going to go out there with a chip on his shoulder in the second half of the season. This guy's talking about withdrawing if there's a 2-stroke. That's the exact opposite of what you want to hear. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's not an edge. That's like, I kind of want to go back and fade him then in matchup if he actually does decide to go out there and play tomorrow.
It's a fair point because it will take him out of his element potentially. And, you know, in theory, this is something Bryson should be using as motivation.
Exactly.
But if this is, and again, let's see Bryson actually go and put his money where his mouth is and withdraw from a tournament where he'd end up being, 3 strokes off the lead. I kind of need to see that to believe that, Mitch. But if indeed he comes out and acts like a huge baby in his post presser when we get a chance to get the sound and whatnot, then we may have to act accordingly with the matchups.
Yep, well said. Okay, so tonight, this is a great series. I love it now that they're playing every single year, interleague play. The Dodgers and the Yankees. Sasaki takes on Cole. And Cole against this Dodgers roster, it's pretty decent. Like he's faced this specific roster, 153 overall plate appearances. The batting average against is 225. Weighted on base is like 282, the 23% K rate. In 4 home starts at Yankee Stadium with 3.22 ERA. Whip is sub-1. And only about 7 Ks per 9. But here's the deal, right? Dodgers favored in this game. They're throwing out Sasaki, who I really want to like Sasaki, but this year has been, god-awful for him, and it's specifically on the road, JJ. A 6.25 ERA, a 1.44 whip, 7.5 Ks per 9. I get it. It's the Dodgers. Should Sasaki be favored here against Cole?
No, I think the line is wrong as far as I'm concerned. And I'm going to be all over the New York Yankees in this game. It's the first time these teams are matching up at Yankee Stadium since that infamous Game 5 of the World Series that I attended and the 5th inning that will live forever in Yankee infamy. Judge dropping the ball, Volpe and Jazz Chisholm between short and third, and then, of course, Garrett Cole not covering first base. Monstrous revenge spot for Cole. First time going up against the Dodgers since that Game 5 start. It's been a mixed bag for him since he's come off the injured list. He got off to a real hot start, had a couple of clunkers. I thought he threw the ball pretty well last time out against Tampa Bay. And how do you trust Sasaki? I mean, Sasaki's thrown to a 5 and change ERA. Yankee bats better going into the All-Star break. And you mentioned Cole, mixed bag against the Dodgers. Freddie Freeman's got great numbers against him. Mookie Betts has pretty good numbers against him. Ohtani has not hit him at all. And Kyle Tucker has not hit him at all. I think it's a good price on the Yankees. I think the series matters a lot more for the Yankees, not only from where they stand within the standings in the AL East, but from a vibe, perception, bigger picture type of topic. You know, the Yankees want to show here, Mitch, that they can play with the best team that baseball has to offer. So very rare I'm going to get Garrett Cole at even money.
Yep.
I'm going to take him at home at even money against the Dodgers.
As always, shop around. Some offshore books have the Yankees at about even money. A lot of the exchanges, I don't know how much liquidity is in those exchanges, but you can get a little bit of plus money. Basically, the other like national books have the Yankees about minus 104, minus 105 here at Circa. 10-cent difference. They're now favored here at minus. It's actually minus 102. I'm sorry, that was the first 5 number they were showing earlier at minus 114. Do you have an update on Aaron Judge and when we might be seeing him again?
Yeah, we do. He spoke, and they got the update from Aaron Boone. No baseball activities, improving, but no baseball activities yet. So if you want to read between the lines, it means Aaron Judge, and here's the update from Meredith Marakovitz. Aaron Judge said imaging showed signs of healing. However, rib stress fracture is not fully healed. Waiting on opinion of another doctor to see what next step is / if he can start upper body activity. I guess the way I would read this, Mitch, he's coming back to the Yankees, but he's not going to be back for the foreseeable future. So if you were counting on Aaron Judge to get back by the end of July, don't count on it. I think there's a very good chance he misses most of the month of August. I'd say right around that last week of August, Labor Day weekend, first week September, Dr. Jastrzemski would put that as the timetable to when we see the big fella once again.
Okay, well, as long as he has a good, month, 5 weeks to lead up to the postseason, based on how the American League looks right now, how many other teams would you actually put ahead of the Yankees, like at that point, right? Assuming Judge is going to come back, pitching's going to be there at full strength. I can't put a single team ahead of them. Can you?
It's very, very difficult. Tampa Bay, I guess I'm going to show some respect to because they are ahead of the Yankees in the standings. They have gotten the better of these regular season matchups with the Yankees. So I don't want to minimize what they've been able to do. But, I mean, listen, the Yankees are going to add to their team, I think, in a bigger way than Tampa will at the August 3rd trade deadline. The Yankees are going to be super, super aggressive. Catcher, maybe they go make a play for San Diego's Mason Miller. They have to go all in with a team that's getting up there in age. So I don't see Tampa with their resources acting in the same manner. I like Seattle, but they can't score runs.
Nope.
They don't have the same offense that they did a year ago. Rowley's a hot mess, and it's been a killer. There's nobody in the AL Central I take seriously. We talked about this yesterday. Mitch, to me, if you like long shots in the American League, I think Boston and Toronto are the 2 teams you should be targeting here.
I don't disagree. And by the way, you mentioned catcher there for the Yankees. I'm glad you did that. Some smoke around that team acquiring Hunter Goodman from the Rockies, 27 home runs at the All-Star break, having a career year. Are you hearing that name quite a bit living in New York and covering this team?
You know, it's interesting. I've heard a lot from Yankee fans. I've not heard much as far as reporting is concerned because Ryan Jeffers with the Twins has been the obvious name because he had connections to the Yankee catching instructor. Some people have thrown out Kyle Higashioka because he played for the Yankees in the past. The Met guys have been thrown out there. I would love Hunter Goodman. But to me, like if the Rockies are trading a guy like that, Mitch, what are Rockies doing as a franchise?
I know.
Like you finally have like a cornerstone player, one of the best offensive catchers in baseball, under team control for years. Like, if you can't keep a guy like that, maybe it's time to contract the franchise. I mean, seriously.
I know. I think that would be another sign towards, this sport pointing at a lockout again next year, right? The haves and the have-nots. And that's good. Have-nots. That's going to be mostly like the Dodgers, though, ruining everything for everybody. But you can't do that, man. You got to hang on to a guy like that. I think it'd be shameful if they were to trade him to any team across the sport. And when you have them for team control like that. By the way, we'll get back to baseball plenty throughout the entire show. Do you like another game tonight on the board at all?
Yeah, I do. And this is a whole, special, folks. So I totally get it. I like the Kansas City Royals, who are 22 games or so under the 500 mark, against the Padre team that is just absolutely reeling. I know Michael King has thrown the ball well. Total in this game is outrageously high at 10. So it must be a hot, steamy night in Kansas City. And that Padre lineup can't score at all. Public is all over the Padres in this spot. I'm going to take Seth Lugo against his former team at plus money. I know some people are not going to be willing to go and fade such a crummy team. Mm-hmm. Mitch, you got to bet some bad teams occasionally if you want to win in baseball. I'm more than willing to do it.
Like the Mets last night. Up next, betting advice for the 2 remaining matches in the World Cup. Alex Crook on the program. Which side wins out, Spain's overall dominance or Messi's magic?
Biggest contest we've ever seen.
Seriously, what's the guarantee?
They're still talking about it.
I think it's time to put the rumors to rest.
Showtime.
$30 million.
$30 million?
$30 million? $30 million?
That's $30 million guaranteed. 3 contests, multiple ways to win, no rate. Entry starting at $1,000. Enter in Nevada, play from anywhere.
Elevate your sports betting game with VSiN's exclusive betting splits. Stay ahead with real-time market trends and track bet percentages on any matchup. Then uncover the edge by comparing them to the amount of bets placed to find out where the sharp money is headed. Upgrade to VSiN Pro to access betting splits, live odds, line moves, power ratings, and in-depth game analysis. Go to vsin.com/pro to join VSiN, the sports betting network.
This is VSiN, the sports betting network.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
All right, when you're betting at Circa Sportsbook for a limited time, you can fund your wagers and contest entries with crypto using BurraPay and pay no BurraPay transaction fees. It's fast, secure, and another way Circa continues to innovate for sports bettors. Here's what you do. You visit burrapay.com, B-U-R-R-A pay.com to learn more. Take advantage of fee-free crypto wagering before August 31st, exclusively at Circa Sportsbook. At Circa Resort and Casino, BurraPay transaction fees waived as part of campaign. Standard cryptocurrency network and exchange fees may apply. Right now, we go out to the Progressive guest line. Alex Crook does a dynamite job covering football and the World Cup for Talk Sport. You can follow him on X at Alex_Crook. Alex, thanks for the time today. How are you?
I'm good. I'm a little bit gloomy, though, much like many England fans. England's journey at this World Cup is over, and so is mine. Sadly, I'm at JFK Airport waiting to fly back to the UK after 5.5 incredible weeks in this amazing country, and I think reality is going to bite quite hard as soon as I land back home.
Yeah, I'm sure it's going to take you and many others a long time to get over that match. I still can't, actually, how bad that was in the second half. Let's begin here with the title match on Sunday as the reigning World Cup champs Argentina back in it against Spain. But when you consider everything going into this match, Alex, Spain's path much more difficult than Argentina's. Also, Argentina with the miraculous comebacks every single match, like the last 4 times they've taken the pitch, along with Spain having an extra day off to get ready for this match overall. How much stock should we put into all three of those things going into the title game?
Well, I think that last thing you mentioned could be quite key, because I think I'm right in saying in 13 of the last 14 major men's and women's international tournaments, the team who've won through first in the first semi-final have gone on to lift the trophy. So the extra day could be quite important, particularly as Argentina once again were made to work very hard for it against England. It was much more straightforward for Spain against the French, much more straightforward than most of us expected. Having said that, when you talk about Argentina and this miraculous run of comeback wins they're on, there's 2 schools of thought, really. One, that their luck must run out at some point, and maybe it will run out in New Jersey on Sunday. Or 2, that it's just inevitable that their name is on the trophy and Lionel Messi is going to become the first ever captain to win back-to-back World Cups. I think it's a fascinating matchup.
It sure is, Alex. And my question, despite the fact that Spain has looked like the more impressive team throughout this World Cup, the tiger blood that Argentina brings to the table is absurd. Those Argentinian players, they're so gritty, they're so resilient, they're never out of these games. Don't you almost get the sense Spain has got to just kill them? Like, you can't even allow them to be within a goal where there's 20 or 30 minutes left in the game, because it's almost a fait accompli. They're going to tie it and they're going to go and win it, because that's basically what they've been able to do again and again and again. So for Spain, they're better. They've looked more impressive. Is their path to victory a margin victory, you think, on Sunday?
I absolutely agree with what you're saying there. And what really impressed me from the last game, obviously Argentina beating England in that quarter-final, was they didn't panic. You know, even as the clock was ticking, they were still playing their football. They were still picking their way through and creating chances. It wasn't just aimlessly lumping balls into the box, which unfortunately is what England resorted to at 2-1 down. In terms of Spain and their approach, I think it'll be very similar to what we saw against France. They're going to want to dominate possession. They're going to want to limit chances as much as possible. They did it really well against that star-studded French attack. But I do wonder if this Argentinian team are maybe more of a unit. France, perhaps, even with so much talent at the top end of the pitch, played as individuals. Messi aside, this has been very much a team effort for Argentina, and I think what Spain can definitely expect is a very physical approach, particularly maybe on young Lamine Yamal, who's clearly still not fully fit. I wonder if the Argentine bully boys might try and target him in the early exchanges.
Alex, what do you make of the total in the match as well? It's either 2 or 2.5, and that number at 2.5 here at Circa anyway. DraftKings under is minus 165. Do you think we're going to get goals in this match or not really?
I think I would go over 2.5, yeah, because despite the fact Spain is so solid defensively, I don't think they can stop Argentina scoring. I see a 2-1 victory either way. If I was having a bet, actually, the way I'd say it might be Spain leading at halftime, Argentina to win in 90 minutes and complete another of those incredible comeback victories.
That's a fun way to bet this one. Mm-hmm. Okay, Alex, there's a third place game on Saturday. France got decimated by Spain. England, devastating fashion, losing to Argentina. As far as the angle of motivation, as far as trying to figure out who's showing up for this game, who wants to win this game, tough to get off the mat and go play a third place match after you go lose the semifinal in the way that each of these two countries lost the semifinal for a variety of different reasons. What do we make sense of this game that's going to be played in Miami on Saturday night?
I think it's the game nobody wants. I think the players would rather be on the plane home now planning their summer holidays. The England fans that have remained in Miami are going to enjoy being in Miami, no question about that, but they're not motivated by this game either. The last time England played one of these third and fourth place playoffs back in 2018, they made wholesale changes. They got hammered by Belgium. I challenge a lot of football fans to tell me who finished third at the World Cup in Qatar. It was Morocco, but nobody remembers who wins the third and fourth place game. Nobody wants to be there. I think it's a really difficult betting heat. I guess if you're looking for an angle, this race for the Golden Boot continues. Messi with one more game to get his name on that trophy. Kylian Mbappe, will he want to play in this game and try and cement himself as the tournament's top goal scorer? Harry Kane needs a hat-trick, I think, to win the Golden Boot. So maybe that's an angle, but I think it's really difficult until we see the teams.
What's crazy about this, I'm looking right now, and at FanDuel anyway, the player to win the Golden Boot, Lionel Messi is now minus 165. Kylian Mbappe is plus 130. That was completely flipped yesterday, Alex. Mbappe was minus 185, and Messi was plus money. So, I mean, if you had to take a guess how much time Mbappe would be out there on the pitch tomorrow, what would you think? They try to get him a goal early, then get him off?
Yeah, does he even start the game? You know, is he motivated, having crashed out in the semi-finals? I would make Messi favourite. I could see him popping up in New Jersey in the biggest game of all and getting himself on the score sheet again. So I can understand why those odds are flipped. You certainly wouldn't expect either Mbappe or Kane to play the full 90 minutes. From an England perspective, I think if I was to watch the game, and I'm not going to because I think it's pointless, I would want to see wholesale changes from Thomas Tuchel. Some of those players who've not kicked the ball yet, like Kobbie Mainoo, Ollie Watkins, with the opportunity maybe to lead the line up front.
Okay, Alex, you can give us some perspective on this. Now that the dust is settled after this Argentina-England match, is this the most devastating World Cup match that you can remember in your years following England? Or we have another one that kind of maybe takes the cake?
Yeah, there's been a few hard luck stories in my lifetime, but this feels a very familiar story, and that England tend to beat the teams they should beat, and then whenever they come up against a team on an equal level or better, they go out. I think the reason this one is so much more painful is it feels very self-inflicted. I've not spoken to anybody yet who can get their head around why Thomas Tuchel did what he did after 72 minutes, took off Anthony Gordon, threw on an extra defender, and just invited that Argentine pressure. It's on Thomas Tuchel that England aren't in the World Cup final on Sunday, and that's why it's still a very deflated and angry set of three Lion supporters who are slowly but surely making their way back from the States.
Yeah. The match had been over with for like 48 hours. Have you been able to think about anything else yet?
No, not really, because I wouldn't be going home if England was in the final. So there's personal reason for me to feel so aggrieved. But I didn't like what Tuchel said afterwards in his post-match interview, that he had no regrets and that maybe it's a DNA issue as opposed to a coaching issue. It was definitely a coaching issue. I spoke to a former footballer this afternoon, and he said it was the worst managerial performance he's ever seen, those final 20 minutes. I'd love to know what the plan was if we did manage to hold on and get to extra time, because he's given himself nowhere to go, Thomas Tuchel.
Mm-hmm. Well, Alex, great appearance as always. We can't thank you enough for your contributions to this network throughout the entire World Cup run. You were dynamite. Thank you for all of that. Have a safe trip back to your home country, and we'll talk soon, okay?
Yeah, it's been a pleasure, guys, and I look forward to what should be a brilliant final. Enjoy.
Yep, back at you. Follow him on X.
Thanks, Alex.
Alex_Crook. Been all over this network throughout the entire World Cup, and talk sport, very popular, obviously, over in England. Okay, we'll do a little NFL coming up next, but we have a major development at the Open Championship. Sportsbooks have pulled the odds for Bryson DeChambeau off the board. Either they're completely off or he is locked. Like, you cannot even make a bet on DeChambeau right now in any market that I'm looking at. There is a serious reason why. We speculated on this earlier in the hour, and it looks like the tournament came down with their decision here on a possible 2-stroke penalty for Bryson. We'll tell you what happened. We'll tell you what we know about the situation coming up. And nobody knows at this point how Bryson's going to approach the weekend. That's coming up on Follow the Money. It's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Crazy, yeah, that shit makes me crazy. You make me go loco, loco. You make me go loco, baby, yeah, that shit makes me crazy. Yeah, that shit makes me crazy. Yeah, that shit makes me. You make me go loco, baby, yeah, that shit makes me crazy. Yeah, that shit makes me crazy. You make me go loco, loco. You make me go loco, baby, yeah, that shit makes me.
The party never stops at Stadium Swim.
You make me go loco, loco.
Check out Stormy and JBT on Money Moves, only on VSiN.
They are last in the division last year, and they were still 9-8, which was better than the winner of the NFC South a season ago.
My eyes have not come across English words that have said that J.J. McCarthy is killing it.
They'll take you on a fun, fast-paced journey, weaving in everything you need to know to make an educated bet, while also not shying away from the excitement of a same-game parlay sweat. Money Moves, weekdays at 2 p.m. Eastern on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
So here is the update on Bryson DeChambeau, who, when we started the show, got to 7 under, and he was 1 stroke back of the current leader at the Open Championship, Lucas Herbert. And DeChambeau was also the short shot on the board at, I think, every single book to win the entire event. Well, there was a controversy going on, and again, we don't have the volume up, but they were still talking to the guy. They were speculating on a possible 2-stroke penalty for Bryson earlier in the round, and in fact, they did ding him with a 2-stroke penalty, and it has to do, evidently, JJ, with Bryson clearing the area around his ball. So it improved the path of his swing on hole number 6. It happened when he was walking around his ball in the heavy rough. Apparently, maybe pressed the grass down to help out the backswing so he was not inhibited. They gave him the 2-stroke penalty, and I thank you to everybody responding to the show on X, and also Ian checking in, saying that he's listening to this show and USA Network at the same exact time. He said that Bryson was cordial on the way to the range. He's going to stay, but who knows what the hell his mentality is going to be going into round 3 tomorrow, now that he's 3 strokes back.
Yeah, it sure seems like Bryson DeChambeau, there's talk of him not playing on Saturday. There's a whole lot to do about nothing. I mean, he's going to be 3 shots off the lead in a major championship. And despite this 2-stroke penalty, he's playing some really, really good golf. Like, to his credit, he did not make the cut, as you pointed out, Mitch, in the first 3 major tournaments this year. The British is usually not set up for him to go and have success, and he's having a whole lot of success. So this is where you got to dig deep, got to soul search a little bit. I'm sure he feels he got shafted with this ruling. I'm sure he's not in love with the fact that he's got to go and give 2 strokes back here. But it's not like he's putting himself in some insurmountable deficit where he is now done, where he can't go compete and win this thing. So show some mental toughness, quit the belly aching, maybe hit the range, and we'll see you on Saturday morning. Go give it your very best. That's the bottom line.
Yep. So DK, now in other books, reposting where he is at. He's 10-1. To win it. Again, Scheffler now, who's been playing some really good golf, he's plus 570. He's the short shot. There is a tweet making the rounds right now, and this is from Christopher Powers, who's been on this network many times. He's with Golf Digest. So it's like a 3-second video of Bryson when this initially happened, and he was getting, like they were explaining that a 2-stroke penalty might come into play. This is for the lip readers out there. It does look like he says, I'm not playing tomorrow. Like that was his initial gut reaction, and Christopher Powers tweeted this out at 4:02 p.m. Eastern time. A guy can change his mind. He can sleep on this if he does sleep at all tonight. But that'll be very. I wonder like how many matchups books will post on him going into the rounds tomorrow. I'm not going to get involved. I think I told you this earlier. I'm going to retire from betting golf matchups. My life could be on the line going into any golf tournament, and I would not survive the weekend because I can't pick a winner when it comes to matchups. But it's all going to be mental for him, right? Going into tomorrow's round.
All mental. And here's why you can't go anywhere near the matchups. If you want to go and fade Bryson, you're fading a guy that's played really well over the first 2 days. That's my problem. And if you go and say, hey, he's going to be motivated, he's ready to go, then it kind of ignores the whole mental aspect of this little meltdown that he's had, this little hissy fit that he's thrown, and how that impacts him going into Saturday and a potential Sunday. So that's it. That's a sit back. Let me watch Bryson play the first couple of holes.
Yep.
And then maybe I evaluate if I want to hop on board and take him to go top 5. I want to go take him outright, whatever it might be, or just let it fly and, let the Bryson DeChambeau money go right by the boards.
Sure. Kind of, to me, it feels a little bit like we've had these issues recently, like in any sport. Unfortunately, there was a plane last night that could not get back in the WNBA, so they had to cancel a game. But I'll go back to like last week when the Red Sox were getting out of Chicago and they had to go to New York and play the Mets, and they couldn't get out until like Friday afternoon. Would they arrive in New York City like 3 hours before first pitch, and Sonny Gray was on the mound, and the Mets took money? Didn't matter. Now, McClain was fine for the Mets, but Sonny Gray went out there and was awesome. The Red Sox got another win. I think that whole thing of like, well, I got to fade this guy because now he's going to be looking forward to coming back home. You never know. You don't know what that's going to turn out like. And there's always, the way it seems, we've had these cases in any sport where there is a flight problem for a certain team. Oh, I got to fade against them. Doesn't mean they're going to lose the game. It's not worthy of a bet, in my opinion.
And that's why you got to tread lightly. The Red Sox example from Friday last week is an excellent point because the books took an insane amount of steam on the Mets. Now, full disclosure in that game, Mitch, I bet the Mets, which was not exactly a brilliant decision. I think the line was like minus 130, 135. I locked it in well before any of the airline trouble for the Red Sox. Like, I didn't even know about any of this stuff. And I said, wow, great. I'm going to get a discounted line. It's going to work out well for me. Red Sox scored 2 runs in the first inning and they didn't look back. So, yeah, like overreacting one way or another. It's like, you know what I would equate it to? It's like when you get news of injuries in football and sometimes the injury news is not as bad as you think it's going to be. And it's like, oh, we got to go and grab this number now. Did you really need to grab this number? Doesn't always work that way.
It's a great example. Like, how many times have I gotten burned in recent years? And this is another thing I'm trying to swear off of, like, all the reports. You can fill in the blank with whatever the running back's name is for whatever team. Yeah, if this game was played if it was a Monday night game, if this was played yesterday, he wouldn't be out there in the field. Okay, well, I'm going to play his unders. He goes out there, 19 carries, 120 yards, and just like, what? And he looks like he's a Hall of Famer that was never injured for 1 second. Like, where were those reports coming from? Did you guys actually, was he practicing this week? How did you actually look at him out there in practice and say, I got to tell you, it doesn't look great, and he goes out there completely unaffected from anything that you heard about with the injury?
So for NFL games, curiously, Mitch, because this is now our second show that we've done together, do you like taking a lot of games early in the week where, yeah, you might get the better of a number? It may be advantageous to go and get that better of a number. Or do you want as much information as you possibly can and you're firing on Saturday and you're firing on Sunday? Is it case by case with you? Or do you kind of like have a mindset of how you attack like NFL games just in particular?
No, I think it's case by case. I'll give you an example. So and this goes now for all national books as well, but forever here, like the Westgate, other books, I think Circa does it as well. They will post up the look-ahead numbers, and I think it comes out every Tuesday or Wednesday the week before. So say we're in the middle, like week 3 is upon us, right? They'll post week 4 numbers, and then I like to get involved with those based on what I think could happen in week 3, because I think those numbers are going to move. Now, I get it, like, for people who want to get down a ton of money on these games, the limits are going to be small. That to me, it's like I want the best of the number when I think it's going to move. But if the guy's dinged up on Sunday, then, yeah, I'm probably not going to attack their games. A key player, quarterback goes without saying, but other key players, if they're dinged up on Sunday and we don't know the status, I kind of have to know more information other than just go like, I think he might be out. Well, what if I'm wrong with that? I could be looking at a complete loser at that point.
Totally fair. For me, at least, like when I see the number that's super appetizing on like Monday or Tuesday, I'll fire.
Yeah.
Then I'm like, hey, I feel good about this. Let's get it in. Let's not get cute. Now, there aren't great examples, and I'm sure I can find you somewhere I've gotten some really good closing line value. But Mitch, there's nothing worse than when you fire in and you're like, wow, I got a -3. I feel great about this. And then the line closes at like 2.5 for 2 by the end of the week. I was like, ooh, why did I do that? Why did I do that?
Sure.
So hopefully not a lot of that coming this way for the NFL season in 2026.
It doesn't happen. Yeah, no, I mean, it doesn't happen all the time to go in your favorite. My best example or worst example, depends on how you look at it, the games of the year when they come out. And I try to look at all of those. And I was on one a couple years ago when the Bills were going to play in Jacksonville. So it was going to be a nice weather game. They were coming off of a really good spot. Jacksonville, I think, was coming back from like a 2-game road trip. And Buffalo was just clearly going to be better than Jacksonville that year. I laid in the game of the year market, JJ, 6.5 with Buffalo. They closed at some books as a 16.5 point favorite. They lost outright. I couldn't even believe what I was watching. I was watching that game at a buddy's house with like 4 friends, and I'm just like, this can't be real life. They had like their offense was a machine that year. I think they had like 6 points at halftime. So those are killers. But
the NFL is a funny game, my man. Mm-hmm. Funny game. And yet, I can't wait to bet it every single week.
100%.
I can't get here, set it off.
Yeah, the sports calendar never stops. The Sharp Plays covers it all, and they've been winning for 15 straight years. All of it documented, logs posted publicly at sharpplays.com. And that kind of transparency is rare in this industry. When the Sharp Plays moves, the sports books take notice. Advanced AI, trusted insider intel. They find the value before the numbers shift. Respected, watched, feared. Start winning with them at sharpplays.com. Second hour of the program today is going to be exhilarating because this is going to be great. Mike Carver is going to join the program now. And you've known Mike for quite a while. This guy, I've been told this week, actually, he's like the king of home run props. Very good on this stuff. So I can't wait to get into his process, who he likes coming up tonight, and what to do with Bryson DeChambeau at the Open coming up here. And follow the money. It's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.